Hey folks, I was going to do a live feed on YouTube, but I found out that they have to, I don't know, they send you a text message and then they ask you who sending them a code, and it takes 24 hours or something. So I just said, well, heck with that, I'll do this video and then record it and then upload it. And so what I wanted to do is share with you the anatomy of writing a song, and this is how I do it. Not necessarily the way to do it, but this is how sometimes I do it. I mean, sometimes they just come along and out of the blue, you don't even know. But, so anyway, so the other day I was sitting around, and I always usually have a guitar in my lap, even when I'm watching television. And so this little ditty came up, just a couple of notes here. And I thought, that's okay. So what would those chords be? First of all, you're starting out on a G, so first chord's going to be a G. And then you wind up on this G flat or F sharp. So that lends itself to maybe a B minor. So what's the next part going to be? Well, maybe you might go to, and that note's a G. So that note's an E, so maybe the next chord in the progression, which would have an E in it, would be a C. And then I'm thinking, okay, what's the next part of the melody? So that would say maybe go back to a G. Next part of the melody I heard in my head went like, which landing on a C note lends itself to another C in the progression. And then the next part of the melody I was hearing in my head went, which would put it back to a G, because that note's a B. And then I'm thinking, okay, I need to resolve this. So the part of the melody that I was hearing went like, let's see. So, and that's a D note. So then that chord would probably should be a D. And then the next part of the melody I'm hearing, and that lands on a G note. So putting it all together, it went like this, and I'll try to get through it. I haven't practiced it much yet, so. So basically, that's how the melody goes, and I don't have that's really just all verse. I think this song, I don't think I'm going to have a chorus in it, because I've written the verse that came out of that little melody wound up being, I've got 4 verses and maybe a repeat of the first. So I think what's going to wind up happening is that I will do those 4 verses, maybe repeat the first, or maybe repeat the last, because I've got 2 different versions of it, and I'm going to walk you through what I came up with on that. So let me get the video back up. I just pulled up the lyrics. I put my lyrics on in Google Chrome because they're easy to get to, and if I want to share them with somebody, they're easy to share. So I'm in Google Docs, and the first word that screamed out to me, or in my head, and I don't know why, but from this little, was the word rain. So I started it out with the word rain, and then I tried to come up with something that, you know, kind of went from there, and would give me a good landing point at the end of the first verse to launch into a second verse that would take me um, to where I ultimately wanted to go. And I wasn't real sure about that. All I knew, I mean, you guys, I think this particular song, this song in particular, is one of the several that I've written recently that, if you've read the little essay that I wrote called "A Trail Towards a Creative Ethic," this kind of comes out of that, and some of the books that I've been reading recently about that subject. So this song kind of goes in that direction. But anyway, let me just go through the first verse and what I came up with from the first word that and I'm not going to pick it because I don't know the song well enough. I'll just strum chords. Uh, uh, from that first word, rain, this is what came out of the first verse. Rain, please explain to the cloud in my heart. There's a flower that will bloom, though your mist hides the moon. So that sent me to that verse. Sent me to the second verse, and I'm thinking, okay, well, we started out with rain. Let's juxtapose that with the word sunshine. So here's the way the second verse evolved from that juxtaposition. Sunshine warms the earth, cascades down, and gives birth to the flower that will grow as the rain builds rainbows. And the last line of the second verse is what I've tentatively titled the song, "Building Rainbows." So we've got this these first two verses kind of set up the visual part of it. So let's go to the perceptual part. And again, if you've read the book, the little essay I did on creativity, um, you know that perception is a huge part of that process. And so, um, and the mind, is a huge part of that process. Even though, if you read John David Garcia, he says that the creative process exists in nature without the mind, but the mind is kind of an evolution from the creative process. Um, here we go to the third verse, and so I've just added the platform from which we can, you know, look at the things that I sang about in the first two verses, and so it goes like this. We perceive these things, all the love nature brings, manifests in its glow, spawning us a rainbow. So back to building rainbows, and at the end of that verse, and kind of getting ready to kind of go into the next metaphysical phase of the creative process, which I'm kind of describing here, I hope, in this song. And I did this fourth verse. I'm going to do it. I've got two different versions. I don't know which one I'm going to use. I may wind up using both of them when I record this. So I'm going to do the first version that I came up with first, and then I'll do the second version, and each version kind of gives it a slightly different meaning, just by juxtaposing a couple of words, and I think you'll get it when you hear it. So here's how I first did it the first time. Cosmos, feel it sing while my soul sails its wings through its vast expanse of time. This short moment I call mine. So that was the first version. Let me do the second one, and we'll kind of, I don't know, I'll just decide which one I'm going to use, or maybe we'll use both of them. Maybe instead of repeating the first verse at the end, which I've got right now on my lead sheet, maybe we'll just repeat the last verse in a different version. But here, feel the cosmos sing while my soul sails its wings through its vast expanse of time. This short moment I call mine. So then, if depending on which way I decide to go, I would repeat the first verse. Rain, please explain to the cloud in my heart. There's a flower that will bloom, though your mist hides the moon. So that's kind of how I came up with this. It'll be interesting to hear your feedback if you got any, and you know who I am, know my email address, send that way, or you can text me through Facebook or Twitter, uh, or or you can comment at the bottom of the YouTube video. So until next time, thank you for watching this, and if you liked it, let me know by giving it a thumbs up, or just give me some feedback. Um, now I've got to figure out how to get this from my computer to YouTube, which is going to be quite the thing. See you next video.